we know that DAP were restricted only to the 16 seats, majority Chinese, you see. And even in our negotiation earlier on, they put in extra seats, non-Chinese majority, in their list. And then I believe it was just a kind of strategy to bargain with us, like, no. And I said, okay, we'll leave you all this seat, and then we just get this. But the main idea is just to get focus on the 16 Chinese majority seats. Then eventually, of course, they got almost all except for Batu Lintang, you know. And even then, that was in exchange for Padungan. So that was only given to us. But Senadin is not really a Chinese majority, you know. It's just a 50% plus Chinese. That was given to Michael Teo. Now, my point is this, that because of the kind of scenario, of course, DAP having been in the majority Chinese, working in the majority Chinese for all these years, of course, for practical purposes, they couldn't get into the Dayak areas and so the Malay and Melanau areas. And because we were aiming, of course, at toppling the state government, of course, every political party would focus of taking over power. And as far as PKR is concerned, that is in our mind, and Pakatan Rakyat as well, and I believe the DAP as well, and PAS. So we don't want from the very beginning to give that inference or even implication that we are not serious in our cause of taking over the government, or even denying them to the majority. And that's the reason why, at the end of the day, in fact, to the very last day, in fact, there were at least 2 or 3 seats. No, we don't have candidates, you know. And but we thought that it's incumbent upon us as part of Pakatan Rakyat coalition to ensure that none of the area of constituency is being uncontested, you know, because the worst scenario is the penamaan calon day, suddenly they announce this 1, 2, 3 areas are won uncontested, you know. That itself would demoralize the whole coalition. So that was the main reason. It's not because you know, we were greedy, you know. So if you look at the underlying argument from the DAP perspective, and PAS, for example, I mean, the only place for them to go is for the Malay Melanau areas, you see. And of course, they wouldn't go and ask for the place that you cannot win. So both PAS and DAP were fighting against us in an area which they can win, you see. So we were painted as the bad guys in Pakatan Rakyat, and that, I think, was very unfair in that sense, not knowing this whole bigger picture of which we are looking at. Whereas they, with respect to them, were focusing only in winning seats which they think they can win. So that was the reality behind the whole negotiation, and why we took that responsibility to ensure that none goes uncontested. Now, of course, this coming parliamentary election, then will be different matter altogether. And now we are trying to be, now that we have done our part in that state election, the parliamentary election, we're going to concentrate only on a few areas because of restriction in resources and financial resources in particular. We're only going to go into areas based on our analysis in the result of the state election. We're going to focus on certain areas, and therefore we would like to invite DAP and PAS to take over the balance. I mean, if they're prepared to be seen to be multiracial, and you all know that the reports on the DAP to be Chinese chauvinist party, I think it'll be a good time for them to take up the balance of the Dayak areas and the Malay Melanau areas, you know. They'll be plentiful, you know. So that's on that issue. So Of course, in the long term, for Sarawak politics, I believe that, as I've said in the press conference earlier on, Pakatan Rakyat and the dual political system, or the dual political coalition system, is going to stay. And it's taking time for us to really bring the message to the ground. If not for rampant corruption and money politics, intimidation, threat from the opposite, our rival, I believe that we could have won more seats. And of course, there are a few things that we have identified as our weaknesses as well. Our missionaries, our jantra, and the whole thing, and our preparedness and time, short time to bring the message on the ground. But otherwise, I can see a brighter future for Sarawak politically. If no one takes up, then what can we do? Because we've said we have learned our lesson. Not to say learn our lesson. We have now we want to be because of the constraint in our resources and time in taking this up. So we would like just to focus on areas that we can win. Then I said, what can we do if there's no one take it up? That we just perhaps hope that other people will come and challenge them. Maybe independent can challenge them. My emphasis at every meeting we had was go out, open ranting, because I believe the machinery, the jantra of the party must be intact and must be set. Because my belief, and still my belief, is this: that once you have the structure in place, your dissemination of messages and a campaign will trickle down to the system. Second, if you, like Danau, you see, when I spoke to our Chalon day, you know what he said? Yeah, I know, brother, this is not necessary, because you know, all this while, this is just an affront for them to get money from us, setting AJK and ranting, you know. I said, okay, I know. So how do you do it? I said, I just appoint people in the long house. When they come for meeting, they come. You see, that is not instilling in them the commitment, you know. I mean, the moment you form rantings, you appoint AJKs, you let them swear, take their oath of commitment in front of the officers, in front of me, or whoever they are, then there is that sense of commitment, of belonging to the party. Then the next thing I told them is continue to recruit members. Then people become, they belong to the organization, they belong to the party. Yeah? There's commitment. They associate themselves with you. If you don't have this kind of thing, what for I be responsible, committed? You appoint, I know. The next day, the other fellow come, and the BN come and buy you 500 ringgit, sudah. You lari. That's exactly what happened, you see. So we have no commitment. And then once you do that in the kampongs, you know that these people are very proud of it. The moment they associate, they openly declare that I am PKR, then it brings totally different dimension, you know, and commitment all together. And I believe that is very important. I think if we think of time, for us, I think it will be just probably beginning of next year, just time for us to. I think one is giving us time to really prepare ourselves. Again, not to be in a hurry lah. So early next year we just for time just to settle and just to put things in place, because you must take into consideration of to me is of course time for us to sit down to again talk about seats with our partners. Second, I think is the candidates, and although we have some candidates in mind now, but not all. Then so from now to early next year will be just fine. I think PM may want it as soon as possible. Why? One is, I think he realized that the sentiment, the support of presidential in Sarawak, particularly in the last election, has went out. I think he has to think hard on that. And I believe any one of these Bian leaders, if they have to really be honest with themselves, they did not win clean. And they know that if we were fighting on, as I've said, level political field, I don't think they've won as such. We could have even won, or we could have denied them 2/3, whatever it is. I'm definite about that. And I know that deep in their heart, they know that facts and the truth. PM should consider the economic global impact on the economy. And as forecasted a few days ago, I think the global economic is going down. So the longer he waits, I think that the worse it may be. And that is a factor which is not within his power to stop or to control. So, and I think that's the main thing. That's the reason why I even look at the way they conduct Dr. Sri Anwar's case. They may just want to speed it out before the year's end, and then that probably one of the thing that a signal to me that he would have it as soon as possible.